Good morning, everybody. Right now we are in Pacific Palisades, California, just a little bit outside of Los Angeles, and I'm going to tell you the story about what happened here while we head to the location. Now, this is a really beautiful road. We're on the Pacific Coast Highway right now, and we're heading to a neighborhood not too far away. And the video today is going to be about actor Matthew Perry. Just because of the nature of what happened in this case, I was kind of waiting for the right moment to do this video, but today I think is the day. Now, for a little bit of background on Matthew Perry, he was born in Massachusetts in 1969. His father was John Bennett Perry. He was a singer and an actor. His mother was a Canadian journalist, and she was also a press secretary to Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. Now, Matthew Perry as a kid he was in school with Justin Trudeau, who became Prime Minister of Canada, and he was kind of a rotten kid. He beat up Justin Trudeau back in the day. He started smoking. He wasn't the world's best student, but going back a little bit further, his parents actually separated when Matthew was only 1 year old, and his mother remarried to Keith Morrison, the broadcaster. Now, it's said that Matthew started feeling kind of like an outsider in his own family. He had a lot of brothers and sisters, and he started smoking, he started drinking, but he also started getting to know a little bit more about himself. He started to get into tennis, and he was practicing up to 10 hours a day. He became a top-ranked junior, but at the age of 15, he moved to Los Angeles with his father, and competition there was a lot tougher, so he kind of gave it up. But he studied acting at Buckley School in Sherman Oaks, and then he also started to take improv classes in Sherman Oaks as well. His first credited role was in something called 240 Robert. He started auditioning and getting small roles and guest appearances. He was cast as a regular in 1990 in a CBS sitcom called Sydney, and he did a guest appearance in Beverly Hills 90210. He was getting to his face was kind of becoming a little more familiar. He was doing a lot more shows. He read for the role of Chandler Bing on Friends, which he got, obviously, and that made his career. He was also in quite a few films. Fools Rush In. He was in Almost Heroes, Three to Tango, The Whole Nine Yards. He was in a fair amount of good movies, but he did struggle with addiction for a lot of years, and that became a big part of who he was, not the addiction part, but the fact that he ended up writing a book, and he wanted his greatest legacy to be helping others who struggled with addiction. And it's said that he estimated that he spent over $9 million on his addiction, which included numerous stomach surgeries, 15 stays in rehab, therapy 2 times a week for over 30 years, and over 6,000 AA meetings. Now, by all accounts, Matthew Perry seemed like a really good guy. He just never really found that special someone that connected with him till the end of his life. But he seemed to be very good to his family, to people around him. And, by all accounts, it seemed like he liked to help people. But, as is most people in his situation, he probably felt a little taken advantage of here and there. If you're a world-class actor and you have as much money as Matthew Perry did, it's probably not very easy to trust people. I really couldn't imagine that it would have been. Now we're in the neighborhood of where Matthew Perry lived. Now, Matthew Perry had houses all across Los Angeles. He had numerous places, but this was the home that he lived in the most recently. This was a house that he bought that he was excited about. It was very customized to his taste. And I'll show you a few pictures on top of this video as well. Now, before we get to the house, I'll tell you a little bit more about what happened. Now, it was October 28th of 2023, and Matthew Perry was found unconscious in his hot tub. He had sent his assistant out to buy him a new iPhone, and when she came back, she found him unconscious. And he was pronounced dead at 4:17 p.m. on October 28th of 2023 at the age of 54. Now, this is not a death that people were expecting. I mean, people knew of his addiction problems, but it was still a very shocking death. When you saw it come across the newswire, It was, I couldn't believe it. Most other people couldn't believe it. He was one of those kind of guys that you never could see actually passing away. His cause of death was ruled acute side effects of ketamine with contributing factors of drowning and coronary artery disease. After the fact, his funeral was held at Forest Lawn, Hollywood Hills, and he was laid to rest in one of the back areas. It is open to the public. You can go, and we will go. But for now, let's take a look at the house. It's just up here, and I've never been by this, and we're going to figure out what we can see together. So let's go take a look. Now, if you notice from here, this angle, just down the hill, the Pacific Ocean is not that far away from his house. From his hot tub, he had a very, very good view of the ocean. It's just a couple of streets up here, but it's down this road here where Matthew Perry called home. Now, when the news broke, there were news outlets and everybody all over this area. They had the end of the road blocked off here, and down here it was nothing but news crews and everything else. On a regular day like you see today, there's construction workers, there's people helping out, but his house is going to be up here on the left-hand side. If we don't have a good view, I'll walk by it a couple times, drive by, whatever we have to do to get kind of a good view. But I also want to be very respectful of the location. I don't know that anybody's living there now, but we'll take a look. I'll try to be a little bit quiet and discreet here. But as you can see, this is a really nice neighborhood. Most of the houses in this neighborhood probably range in the $3 to $5 to $7 million range, if I had to guess. I could be a little bit off, but these are multi-million-dollar neighborhoods. But it's kind of weird because most of them don't have fences or gates or anything like that. But this was Matthew's house here on the left. And as you can see, his car is still here. There is an SUV here. It is running. There's somebody sitting in it. I'm not sure who or what they're waiting for. But this is the home where Matthew Perry was living in and passed away in. Now I'll walk by again and we'll see if we can get a better view. But I'm going to put a couple of photos over this video as I go through here of what the house looks like on the inside and what the house looked like on the outside just after this happened. Now if you notice the hot tub in the back, that's where he was found. Here's one more look at the house. Okay, as I got back to my car, the SUV actually moved. So let's take a quick look at this. Now, the car in the driveway right now is the car that you could see. That was Matthew Perry's car. It's still here, and that's the car that you could see in all the video footage the night that this happened. Now, hopefully the view is pretty good. I'm trying to hold the camera down a little bit, and I don't want to look too creepy. Here's one more look at the house before we head across town, and we're going to head to Forest Lawn, Hollywood Hills right now to take a look at the final resting place and pay our respects to Matthew Perry. This is Forest Lawn, Hollywood Hills here, and this is one of the most star-studded cemeteries anywhere in the world. Last I knew, Matthew Perry's grave was not yet marked, but he's over here in the Sanctuary of Treasured Love. It is very well known that this is his final resting place, and it is open to the public. His family does not seem to mind at all people coming to pay their respects. Just do it peacefully and respectfully. But it is this one here on the bottom. Now you can see that a lot of people have left things here. They leave flowers. Somebody left a tiny friend's couch. And I would think that this grave would be marked probably within the next 6 months or so, but I could be wrong. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and maybe even learned a little something about Matt. But thanks for joining us today, and we'll catch you on the next video.